Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another cast of the NA10 tournament games. This is the first game of Winners Round 3, MIT versus Cookie. On the bottom side, we've got Cookie with Destro, Guardian, BC, Arb, Carrier, and Levy. So quite some diversity there. Destro is actually 4 laser 3 armor. The BC went 9 range, Storm. And on the top,
on the top we got Double Guard. We've got a Carrier, Leviathan, Overlord, and Destro. The top is MIT, by the way. Pretty standard coming out of MIT on their builds. Destro 5 armor, Leviathan 4 spine, or 410. So standard game here.
Yeah. We do have the usual, double missile boat, tank, support ship mid for both sides. But I think he has the edge here, given these two compositions.
At the moment, I would have to say that it favors MIT in my opinion. They've got the Double Guard, the Destro. The only thing that they're lacking here is a support. We all know that Overlord is considered support, but it really doesn't have support abilities.
Yeah, definitely more of an offensive caster. We see Bite Light pushing into Shy By a bit, but he's alone, and he's going to have to back off, and it'll take a lot of damage doing it. Probably eat a Plague on the way out as well. There we go. Wait, did that miss? No, it hit.
Oh no, it
Never
got
mind.
him and the Arbiter. So Bite Light kind of costing his team there.
Yeah, we do have a good Stormer and Guitars that'll make him take some damage, but Bite Light definitely took a lot more there. And I agree with what you said about MIT's composition favoring them a bit. They've got more DPS, and their tank can tank a lot better. Bite Light wasn't really able to use his 4-3 the way that he wanted because he has to go back and heal now. He can't really farm up with the 4-3. Caboose just have a range edge over the Guardians. He's putting it to good use, he's kiting them. But the Guardians will still be able to deny farm and do some damage with their Broodlings. And of course, if they get close enough, their 5 spines are more DPS.
Oh yeah.
For now, Wayne is falling back, he's damaged a bit. He'll just heal a bit and come back. Bite Light's going to heal up. He has enough for bots if he wants it. I think he'll probably warp in.
Yeah, they need
Right now-
Bite because they're starting to get pushed back, well, which will eventually give the side lanes for MIT the advantage over Cookie's side lanes. Alright, we got a ping over here.
And a warp on Wildfire by Bite Light. Bite chose to go for a reinforced hull and a Gatling upgrade rather than his his repair bots, which I'm sure he'll regret after a few plagues, as will Caboose. But MIT is falling back, and at the end of the brawl, the farm lead is 70 in favor of Cookie.
So pretty even here. Shapig at 124, so he's doing very well against Kira right now, shutting Kira down. Kira only at 80 farm.
Yeah, the farm is definitely in Shapig's favor by quite a bit. Where does he have that, though? Looks like he got his... Their upgrades are similar. Shapig has an extra bile count.
He has an extra attack
And an extra speed as well. So I guess that's where the difference comes in. Yeah, and life. He got 3 life upgrades.
Oh, yes,
Things
yes,
are
yes.
still pretty stable. Kira gets pinged by MIT. They know they're gonna try and warp on him. And another ping for good measure. I wish I could hear their conversation in TeamSpeak during
Yes.
this. Yeah. In Chinese as well. Or Taiwanese.
Alright, so this gave Shapig time to upgrade. Still really didn't pump anything. Kira sitting on 162 minerals. He's looking to upgrade, but he's out here for the warp trick and getting denied.
I'm loving the pings.
Hmm?
I'm loving the pings. Just, I'm imagining the conversations that's going on there. Get the fuck back! There's a levy there. The warp does happen, doesn't catch anyone. Kira looks like he wasn't able to grab his regen. Shipig also doesn't have it yet, so no problems there. Xiaoyi has 9 ints. Kira can handle that, he's got 7 tenths. And Wildfire has 15 ints. Wow.
Oh yeah,
so
that's
Shipig's still at...
only 4 tenths. So that's
Yeah.
gonna, well, that plague
They're
will
forced to plague it.
Yeah, that sucks for an overlord, but I mean, Shipig really cannot compete with that. Looks like they're gonna try switch lanes here. Shipig's headed down. Shao though, kind of hesitant to go up.
He wants that farm. I don't blame him. I'd go for the farm myself.
Farm
Yeah,
addicts these
Wildfire
days.
has 200 farms, so he's the most farmed ship on the map right now.
Okay, looks like we had a pause there for some lag.
And some very interesting conversation during the lag as well. Right, we might need to censor this cast.
Censoring the stream.
Right. We can't even reprimand them because this was all played in the past. Replays.
They were just having good old-fashioned fun there.
Yeah. Looks like the Guardians are a little bit underfarmed to what they would like to be at.
Alright, we got Wildfire. They're warping out early. He went back to make sure he didn't get seen, so I wonder
He
if
actually
he'll
warped to the bottom to launch on Shipig.
Oh,
I like that.
he did warp to the bottom. He's like, you're
Yeah,
not running
save some
away
time.
from me, piggy.
I guess he doesn't want to walk in a Wildfire in this exercise.
And that helps Cookie out a lot. Shutting down that Leviathan and making him go back, forcing him to go back before he wants to is always
Right.
beneficial.
He grabs his regen, pops it immediately. But he
Still-
can't go against the carrier.
Yeah, and he's going to try to go back up to top. So they're going to shift Shy down. Guitar's now holding down that bottom lane, though.
Yeah, it's good for him to get some farm. Destros don't normally have the luxury of getting much in the middle.
Speaking of farm, it's 1245 for Cookie and 1100 for MIT, so still very, very close.
Yep.
Alright, looks like we
Ooh,
got
for the side
Warpins
lanes?
coming in on Shipig. Just the guards coming in on Shipig. This isn't a warp trick, so they're not trying to catch nobody here.
Yeah, they'll just force Cookie back a bit, regain their farming positions. Corrosive on Wayne, not yet on Shybai. Maybe he'll grab it later. The Arbiter.
Kai getting pushed back though, still dealing with these ants.
Yeah, and that's hurting his farm a lot. He's got so little. Look at him. Let's
Yeah,
Res
ship-wise. Akai at 72. He's the lowest farmer on the board at the moment.
by 23. Jay Daniels being the other one, the Arbiter. So the poor support ships not getting much farm, as always. As a support ship player myself, I hate that a lot. It's worse now in 3.0.
A lot worse now.
At least for the Raven and the Arb.
Well, Arb still has some few tricks up his sleeves. He can still storm and catch farm, otherwise that a Raven just can't get to.
Yeah, Wildfire up to level 16 ends. He got 7 lasers as well, so he's going to be on one shot for the next 8 minutes. He just wants to keep his farm up and continue his lead, because he's already up. Well, Shabig caught up in the brief while that Wildfire is upgrading,
And
but he's still the
Bruce-
highest farm to the map.
Bruce here going with Scourge on his Guardian here.
Oh, that's actually a very good idea. There are no BCs or Raven on MIT's side.
And the only counter could be Acid Splash, and it'll be a while before Shipig goes back to base.
Yeah, they could get Bombardment as well, but that's not the most effective counter there is. because of its low range and its duration. He doesn't have anabolic though, so he's not going to be able to spam those Scourges to the amount he would like.
Yeah, for late game, I see Cookie maybe working around a sieged, Chrono Siege Tex maybe. That's some of their options. Really not a whole lot of catch mechanisms here for MIT. They do have the carrier.
They have a carrier that can Tex. That's about all you need.
So it looks like they're going to go more for a rundown in late game.
Yeah, they do have the Corrosive to make that happen if they want to. Shapig is still struggling with the Ints. Then again, so is Kira. Both the carrier and levy for both sides are down at the bottom now. Having a little fist fight. I think Cookie's getting the better end of this. Shapig's being forced back now by the Guardian coming over.
Oh
so
yeah, and
Cookie not
Shapig,
playing fair. They're calling in their friends.
Shapig though only at 7 tints. There's no. He's got to upgrade his tints. He cannot keep up with Wildfire.
Yeah, Kira's as well. Kira's taking a lot of damage here. He pushed a little too far. Oh,
they might get him. Here we go. We got Shy warping in.
But
We've
Shapig takes
got
too much damage and has to back
Overlord
off.
warping in.
Bruce goes right into the Scourge Shapig. And
Oh, we've
turns
got
out
a
to be
dirt
good
stop
move.
here by
Shapig has to fall
Wayne.
back.
Bite though, pushing in front of 3 ships, eating all
And
that
Caboose,
damage.
look at Caboose's positioning. Way forward. But they have Cloak now. He just, oh, that was actually really good. He dodged the Plague. Only caught it himself because of the Cloak.
Uh-oh, Guitarist pulls back.
Oh.
They
And
do
Wayne
get
falls.
Wayne.
Caboose picks him off. And it looks like it's going to be a 1-for-nothing trade for Cookie. They have the Cloak as well if they need to use it. But MIT appears to be breaking off pursuit. They're not going to catch anyone here. So that was very good for Cookie.
Very nice. I just figured they'd push him back there. I didn't think they'd get the kill. But they weren't going to stop till they got that kill. Cookie was dead set on getting that kill. And here we got Kira now sneaking around for a warp trick.
They're not content to sit on their laurels. They could warp in Caboose as well, but he looks like he's just being the idiot bait, as Record calls it.
Seems to be working here though. Kira way behind these 3 ships down here. This Overlord, Destro, and Carrier.
He's 171 as well, so they can definitely catch someone
Oh
here.
yeah,
if they warp.
okay,
They're
here we
warping.
got the warp out. MIT now notices it. They're pinging, cutting up left.
No text yet on Wildfire. He chose to go the all-in route. He's got warp in, 19 tenths, I mean 19 ints.
They
Those are gonna
might
hurt
be able
quite
to
a bit.
catch Shy, but do they
He's
still
even
know?
stopping to farm.
Yeah, they still know he's there because he keeps.
They
Oh,
scan, they catch him. He was hoping to go off to the side and warp out. He might be in time.
oh, he'll get out of
There's
here.
farm going towards him,
He'll make
and
it.
the farm gets distracted by the ints.
Very
That
nice.
was close. That was a knife's edge there.
Could you imagine how fast his heart was racing right there?
I'd bet pretty fast, but he does get away safely.
Especially when that
Albeit
Leviathan
barely.
popped in out of the fog of war.
Yeah. If that scan had been a little bit earlier, maybe they could have stopped him. But in the end, no harm, no foul. He gets away safely. And he's coming back out with more ints. So he's got level 17 ints, also very respectable. Caboose does not have pods. He did, of course, choose to get nuke instead.
Really new. Well, farm scores at the moment is 1900 for Cookie and 1550 for MIT.
Right. They've got a ship down, so that's expected. But even with accounting for that, it's a huge farm lead. Take a look at the side lanes. We've got Kira at 322, Wildfire at 425, and climbing. Shapig at 404, and Xiaoyi at 342. So Xiaoyi and Kira are more or less even, but Wildfire is more than 30 ahead of Shapig. So a slight lead to the side lanes of Cookie. And Caboose is just popping that scan every 30 seconds, like clockwork.
Yes, if there's one thing we know, about MIT and Intruder and the Asian teams is they love their warp tricks.
Yeah, sadly we haven't seen very frequent or effective warp tricks yet this game. Well, I say that, but the good warp trick was cookies. Wildfire's getting pushed back by Shapig, but he's gonna have to back off now. Actually, are they warping? No, they aren't, so I'm surprised Shapig is taking it this far.
Looks like he's just
I
trying
don't
to
know
get
why
some breathing room. I don't know, they are doing some work now on Bite, now he's by himself. Caboose, though, I was gonna say, them ints were tearing him up.
They are very strong, level 17.
And Wildfire at 19 now with Warp in.
And with Jay Daniels spending all his energy on Cloak, he can't really storm them. So that leaves the Guardian to take care of it with level 7 Spines. That's not going to cut it. Kira's got level 710 still, no Acid Spray. His armor is also quite low, so he's going to take a lot of damage from those ints.
It looks like Cookie here is not respecting the ints from
Yeah,
MIT,
that's what it looks like to me.
and that could come back to get him in trouble. I mean, like you were saying, their only counter at the moment is Storm, which can't be used because Jay Daniels has got to use Cloak so much. Wildfire's ints could help out, but he's got to use that to secure his own side lane.
Yeah, this comes down to Caboose opting to go for the nuke rather than the pause. He did use it and got some effectiveness out of it, so I don't mind too much. But they've got a plan for that. They can't go pause, they need to get other counters. And they haven't done that.
He still hasn't got pods after this upgrade. And
No,
here, I mean, these ints, just nothing is taking them down. Kira now at level 10 tentacles,
Level 23 interceptors on Wildfire, though.
but Shy's going back to upgrade. That's gonna... Let's see what he opts to do. Shy setting up base.
Yeah, what's surprising to me is that even though Wildfire has more effective or more powerful interceptors, it's Xiaoyis that have been more
Effective.
scary.
They've been more effective.
And I think that comes down to MIT defending against the ints a little bit better. Some plagues going down on them even. And the Guardian has level 11 spines rather than the level 7 that Bruce had and still has. He hasn't upgraded them. Got Parasite instead. So, yeah, Cookie still doesn't really have an effective counter for the ints. Frenzy is up on Kira though.
That'll help
Hopefully
out
he
a
won't
little
have to use it for
bit.
the ints.
But yeah, if he has to waste it on ints, that's a bad sign.
Parasite lands on Shapig. They're trying to punish Bruce for it, but Cloak is there. A nuke to follow. I don't think that'll hit.
Okay, I don't
Just a
understand the
defensive
defensive. I mean, they're all full shields, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to get them off his back. Off his team's back, rather.
Here, Jay Daniels losing all his shields again to interceptors. Cookies has got to find a counter for this quick. They can get Bombard, up more spines. BC should have pods. Should have had pods a long time ago.
Yeah.
And see here again, another set of interceptors making it to the Arbiter.
Well, Shapig is suffering a bit from the ints as well. So, both teams just throwing into each other every few seconds, and it's working for both of them. But it's push on Kira right now. He's taking a lot of damage, but there's
yes.
Cloak if they need it.
They've got corrosive acid on him. Doesn't look like... Okay, Jay's now he's pulling back.
He's not Parasite or anything. Foe can save him at any time. Is there any Parasite on the side of MIT? Doesn't look like it. They lost their other guard. Shyby doesn't have Parasite at all. I'm surprised with the Cloak on the field. You would think they would get it. Another push on Caboose. He's actually taking a lot of damage. He might go down here. Where's the Arbiter?
Corrosive acid's
Arbiter's
coming
back.
down.
He's not going to be in time.
No, Caboose will... Oh, my
Oh!
gosh!
That
100
was
hit
clutch.
points.
With the slightly increased range of the shield recharge, he shielded Caboose.
Oh my gosh, but now Kira is in trouble.
And he
Kira goes down. Big blow there to Cookies. Losing a Leviathan, that is game-changing.
Yeah, I was about to say clutch save by Jay Daniels and Caboose. But
Yeah, I was so caught up with the Caboose that I barely saw what was happening to Kira.
I just got the death message. I didn't even notice.
He
I don't know
pushed
what
too
happened there.
hard, and they turned on him, and they refocused Ince, and that was GG for Kira. Kira going down.
Yeah, so
Pretty
Cookie throwing away
convincingly,
their
too.
lead big time. With Corrosive and level 20 ins, not to mention Shapig's Tense and Bile.
Yeah, with
That's a lot of DPS that they should have accounted for.
and one of their only few counters that they had up to the Ince. I mean, if Caboose doesn't go pods here, this game is going to get ugly fast for Cookies.
Well, he's got a 400 farm. He's got to get pods now. There's nothing else that is more important than Caboose getting pods right now.
We'll see what he goes with. Okay.
Come on, Caboose.
Let's
Don't pull a
see.
Caboose. There he goes. He grabs pods. And more
Pods.
energy. So they finally have their counter. But they did lose a carry.
But
Levy
it's
at
just
that,
a little
so.
too late. If he would have had pods sooner, they probably would have never gotten to that situation they were in a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I agree. Those pods could have saved them a lot of damage.
Caboose, though, also playing very, very aggressive this game. Not something
he
you
doesn't
want to
have
do with
defensive shield
DC.
yet, so another corrosive launch on him. Good dodge by Xiaoyi, anticipating the pods.
Oh, Akai goes in and throws a plague down on Shai's Ince. He hit the wrong
Oh.
interceptors there. No,
Oh, well,
no,
he's-
Shai.
Looks like he was very eager to help, but eagerness can sometimes backfire. And Akai is still very underfarmed. It's 29 minutes into the game. He's still at 2 lasers. He doesn't have any mutas to farm with either, so that's just going to get worse and worse.
Ouch. Here we got 2-on-1 on Shapig. We've got the Guardian and
Look at-
BC trying to do what they can to cover up for this lane.
Look at Akai's farm. 209.
Poor,
30
poor
minutes into the
Akai.
game. That poor overlord.
Yep, we got 2,300 farm for Cookies now, and 2,400 for MIT. So 30 minutes into the game, MIT takes the lead.
Yeah, after their kill of the levy.
That was
they
very nice.
Take a slight lead. Still even, more or less, but Cookie lost the carry, and that hurts.
Yeah, these days, without a levy, you're hurting.
You keep saying these days. You
Oh.
long for the old days, Kraken?
I do. I cry for them. I keep thinking that I'm actually in the tournament right now, like, yeah! But sadly, no.
You're getting into it. I like that. Looks like they're having Bruce cover the lane that would be taken by Akira.
Yeah, but
Frequent scans going
they're
down.
harnessing Caboose over there quite a bit just to help out. At this stage in the game, a Guardian is very not, or I should say, it's not the ship you want out there on a wing against a Leviathan. Especially one
Well,
that's
if he
farmed
had
up like
farm, it would be
Shapig.
okay. But he was in the mid the whole game. He's only got, let's see, Bruce Campbell 453, which is decent, but not carry low farm.
No, not at all. And if MIT were to switch up the lanes, that would put Bruce, I mean, that would almost destroy Bruce. If Shai was to get a hold of Bruce on a lane by himself, he would literally tear Bruce apart with those interceptors.
Yeah.
Bruce still only at 7 spines. It looks like he's trying to go into a Broodlord build, actually. Now at level 9 Broodling Strike.
And Shapig has Frenzy now. So that's another threat for them to watch out for.
Well, the good thing right now for Cookies is they still do have their ARV. And denying 1 Leviathan, that's not as bad as denying 2. So he can keep up and keep Shapig denied for a while, but once Akai, yeah, I was going to say once Akai gets siphoned, but he already has it, it's going to become a lot harder for Jay Daniels to do his job.
Jay Daniels is being very liberal with his use of Cloak. Just to make sure the Broodlords land, to make sure Bruce doesn't get siphoned. He doesn't really have the energy to be that liberal, though. He's got 375 with K. Darren. Decent, but not enough.
Yeah, and still no force field. So if Shapig were
Yeah.
to pop Frenzy, they'd be in trouble. Level 13 Bile at the moment, 9 range, 8 attacks. Shapig's packing a mean punch right now.
Yeah. Jay Daniels is also suffering from support syndrome, which is where you have no farm whatsoever.
Yeah, and we all know that the only thing that keeps a Leviathan in check in a game is another Leviathan, and Kira pushed way too hard and ultimately died. So now Shapig
Well,
is free to roam. I mean, there's really nothing that can compete with him now. He's up at 13 tenths. Wildfire's at 30 interceptors, so I mean that
yeah,
is a little devastating. But Shapig with Rapid and Frenzy, he should be able to clean up Wildfire's ends with no problem.
I don't agree with Wildfire choosing to dump everything into interceptors. With feedback and vortex rather than those last few interceptor upgrades, he'd actually be much more of a threat, and they could actually make something happen with these Broodlords and all that.
And it would have made
So-
it more effective. I mean, spending all that money on 2-3 upgrades where you could have had
Yeah.
a lot more
Feedback
possibilities.
Like with feedback, he could just shut down Shapig hard, and this wouldn't happen.
Oh,
With
and yeah,
feedback,
right here, we got Shapig pushing out on Wild. Wild is actually in trouble here. A launch
He's going
coming in
down, I
from
think.
Shy. Oh, these ends hurt.
Yeah, he's dead.
Oh,
Or saved by the cloak? No, he's parasited.
Oh,
He's parasited.
parasited.
He's dead. And that is why you need feedback. Caboose looks like he's suiciding.
oh,
he gets.
but they
oh!
get Shapig. Shapig
They get
dies to a
Shapig,
nuke.
so-
Very well played by Caboose right there. I mean, he almost died for it, but I mean,
They get the
Cookies
levy.
is back in the game. I figured after losing Wildfire right there that they were done for, but if they can keep Bruce alive and if his broodlings get strong,
Yeah, the thing is, they've lost both their carries, and Xiaoi's ends still hurt quite a bit.
Yeah,
and
Xiaoi-
Bruce isn't going. Bruce isn't going spines. He's investing everything into Broodlords.
yeah, at
So-
this point he's got to. But I mean, here in 3 minutes, he's got to have one more spine to stay at 2-shot. He should have went spines.
Well, I'm sure he can go back in time to get that, but
Yeah, but
there's still.
Cutting back in 2 minutes, that's gonna cut out on his farm time. He should have been more aware of his game time there. At this point in the game, he cannot afford to go back.
They're actually having Bite Light invest as much as he can into lasers just to be a soft counter for those ends. Looks like MIT is heading back. They don't have a warp point set just yet, so they're just going to grab their upgrades and push out again. So,
So what do you think now with this comp? Let's say without upgrades, if we started this game without upgrades and we saw these 4 ships for each team, who would you say had the most favorable comp?
that is an interesting question. Yeah, I would definitely
'Cause
have
to-
to go with side with an actual carry. So MIT.
So you're going with the carrier. I honestly feel like it's almost about even. You got good counters to every ship on every side. I mean, Cloak will counter the ends to a certain extent. Then you got Storm. You got a guard with spines. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe we should have them restart and just have these 4 ships in each.
Sadly, since this was played several weeks ago, that is no longer an option. Nor am I certain that the tournament hosts would have allowed it, but who knows?
There we go. And there's an effective use of Cloak right there. Bruce throwing down his broodlings. But that
Yeah.
plague, that'll just
Still,
hurt
Bruce
Jay
only level
Daniels.
9, not really a threat so far. The Ents can easily clean them up.
Looks like Bite was trying to push on Akai, but Akai at 1.7 speed. Bite is up at 1.72 now.
Jay Daniel is taking a lot of damage from the Ents. He can't cloak himself, of course.
Bruce needs to up his spines to help out. They're getting pushed back solely by Ents. Ents are just tearing them apart.
At this point, he's their only ship capable of carrying, unless Bite wants to go siege. So I think he should just stay at 2-shot and just dump everything he can into Brutes, which isn't much, because he still hasn't been getting very good farm.
Yeah, and he went all spines there on that upgrades.
So it looks like he agreed with you.
Maybe.
Maybe he went to the future and listened in on this broadcast.
There you go. I was gonna say maybe I went to the past, but all right. They do have a warp point out there. They are warping in on Bite. They're not gonna catch nobody.
The pods are now, along with Bite Light's lasers, their only anti-fighter. Which isn't really what you want against a carrier with level 24 ends. Especially as pods can be dodged. And the lasers, well, they're not going to do so much against level 24 Ints.
No, he's already so far behind with his laser count that the Ints will still stay
Yeah.
strong for another 20-30 minutes into the game, especially if he keeps upgrading his like Wildfire was doing.
Yeah, and Xiaoyi now has Vortex. Caboose was doing a good job keeping him locked down, but he's only got so much energy. 450 isn't enough to, pod all the Ints and keep locked down on the carrier.
Yeah, and
So
with
they get a Tex off.
with Shy at 375, he just launches, recalls in more Ints, launches. Caboose can only keep up with him in pods. Like, see, it's either lockdown or pod, and if he doesn't
Yeah, I
pod,
think
this is what
Xiaoyi-
happens.
I think Xiaoyi was going for a Vortex there, but Caboose got his energy back just in time to do the lockdown. I think if Xiaoyi had landed that Tex, this would be a very sad story for Cookie right now. Guitars clearing of the Brute Lords on the left.
Yeah,
Looks like they're
Guitarist,
gonna
I
warp
mean,
on him.
we haven't been talking about him a whole lot, but he's now at 16 armor, 15 lasers. We might see Siege come out of this guy here soon.
Yeah, he's very hard to kill. Prod field and 16 armor. There's actually nothing on the field that can bring him down at all.
No, nothing. There's nothing that could kill him. Not even a
Yeah.
fat nuke from Caboose.
Yeah, 6,000 damage. Unless he's already very low, that's not going to do anything. I'm sure he has emergency shields as well. He's got his hull, so that nuke damage is already reduced. So the Broodlords are only going to tickle him.
And
with that
he's
much
at
armor.
1.7 speed, so Caboose would have to be spot on with the nuke. If anything, if a nuke came out, it'd have to be stasis nuke. I mean,
Yeah, and I'm sure there are other better targets as well.
and now that
Shy-By,
they parasited Caboose, so that'll probably be their next target on their next big engagement.
look at Shy-By's build on the Guardian. He's going full on Assault Guard with the
Oh,
one shot and the 10 Acid Spore.
I see. That's been a while since I've seen Acid Spore build, but it's actually a very good build if you think about it. Bylight only at 8 armor, so that 10 Spore with Corrosive Acid is definitely gonna hurt Bylight.
True enough, it does good damage. He doesn't have the 10 range yet, though. I'd like to see him grab that. Personally, I would have preferred a Broodlord build because the Guardian is dead. The carrier.
Yeah,
on
nothing
Cookie's
to
side is
deny
dead.
his Brews if he were to start, and that's a good point. Yeah, it would have been better in Broods. And what you said about range, since he's only at 1.6 speed, yeah, I agree. He needs his 10 range to effectively kite the Destroyer. The Destroyer now with 1.7 speed, you don't want to
can just
be
run him down.
you don't want to be a Guardian getting caught by a Destro. Especially a Destro with level 16 lasers. With Bite Light now up to 16 lasers. And you see this? 2 shields. I don't know if he just did that. I didn't recognize that on his last ups. Maybe.
Yeah, well, if he's transitioning to Siege, he's going to need those. And since he's got so much lasers, I imagine he doesn't want that. He's got 2 range upgrades as well.
Yeah, here Cookie tried to push out, but they were forced back home quick.
Bombardment being one of the few things that actually does damage to Guitarist, at least as long as he doesn't have Sprott Field up. The Ints are at level 25 now, and they're being very, very pesky. Forcing lots of pods out of Caboose, Storms as well.
Storms that Daniels really can't afford at the moment.
Yeah, and that one launch got him all the way down to 3,000 shields. Everyone on Cookie is just upgrading lasers as much as they can, even the Arbiter. And that shows how much of a threat the carrier is.
Yeah,
He's
at the
forcing an
moment,
entire
it's
team.
it's you see it. Yeah, those 3 ships are doing everything they can to counter 1 ship, and this late in the game, if you're using 3 to counter 1, that means you're allowing 3 other ships, their Destro, Overlord, and Shabai, to farm up at will. And
Yeah, in theory, but... Oh, well, it looks like there's a push on Caboose. The Ints are on him. I think he might go down here.
we've also got to
On
push
Jay
on
Daniels, right?
Bite Light as well. Yes,
Daniels is dead.
Daniels will die here. What about Bite though? Bite Light down to 2,200,
Cyblast
1,100.
goes on him, but he'll live.
Caboose still pushing.
He doesn't have energy to get
Oh
his
my
nuke
gosh,
off.
Caboose
He was
he'll
going for a
die.
nuke, but he doesn't have energy. And he falls, and that's GG. GG is called.
I
Oh my
wonder-
god.
that was-
MIT won after losing their Guardian very early on.
I'd have to say that dirt by Kira cost them the game. Not having that Leviathan here really, it just showed you the power of a Leviathan, a team with the Leviathan
Yeah,
and a team without one. Even
a
though they
couple of
did
big
lose
turning
to Pig.
points in the game. But in the end, game one of the series goes to MIT.
Good games.